All right, 93, 93, 93. Do what thou wilt should be the whole of the law. Now, for those who are not aware, First Republic Bank has just collapsed. Probably about a day ago. Pretty much right exactly when Pluto went retrograde. See, the thing is, Pluto is the god of wealth. So the fact that a bank collapses right when Pluto goes retrograde is really not a coincidence because they had to get bailed out for about $50 billion with the assistance of the government, along with JP Morgan or Chase Bank. So Chase Bank, along with the government funding, had to bail out First Republic Bank, which marks the third bank to collapse in the span since March, essentially. So since March, this is the third bank to, to collapse. Now, of course, if you look at mainstream media, they're doing everything in their power to stop people from panicking. Because we know when people panic, things go really crazy. So they're doing their best to downplay this, the same way they downplayed all the other banks. Because they don't want people to, feel some type of way and lose faith in the system. So it's some real sneaky activity going on. And again, this is just a reference to the Pluto retrograde. Because Pluto also represents propaganda for those who may not know. So not only is Pluto the god of wealth, Pluto also represents mass propaganda. So all the propaganda that we see in mainstream, whether the mainstream media or whatever have you, that's also, you could say, the negative aspect of Pluto. The positive aspect is the wealth, but the negative aspect is the propaganda. And that's exactly what we're witnessing for those who are paying attention. So that's why I'm like, yo, this is Pluto. Pluto is written all over this. If you understand what you're looking at, for those people who pay enough attention not only to the news, but also to astrology. So whenever you want to understand propaganda, look no further than Pluto. Let me actually pull up the chart right now. Because I don't think I mentioned when Pluto actually goes back into Capricorn, because we know Pluto was in Aquarius, 0 degrees. But let me see when Pluto actually reverses, because we know Pluto is in retrograde, so now it's moving backwards. But let me see when Pluto actually goes back into Capricorn, 29 degrees. So let me give you the exact date. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. So yes, Pluto is still technically in Aquarius, but let's see when Pluto actually goes back into Capricorn. Let's see. So currently Pluto is in 0 degrees Aquarius, 29 minutes, 49 seconds in the fifth house. Well, of course, the house is going to be based on your location. So this is based on the West Coast. But if you're somewhere like New York, it may be in a different house. Because a house is determined how exactly Pluto will play out, or basically what area of life. it will play out in. So for everybody, Pluto is in Aquarius. But depending on where you are in the world, Pluto may be in a different house. And that will let you know what area of life Pluto will affect. So for us over here on the West Coast, Pluto will be affecting the fifth house. The fifth house is gambling. It also is speculation. And you know, I'm in Las Vegas. It's all about gambling. That's the whole currency around here, right? So Pluto is wreaking havoc for the gambling houses, aka the casinos, right? So depending on which house, that will determine, you know, where you should look to see what's going on. But let me tell you exactly when Pluto goes back into Capricorn. Let's find out. So I can give y'all some exact dates here. So let's see. So Pluto will be in Aquarius until, let's see. Oh, there it is. There it is. So I want to give you the exact time. Let's see. Until June 11th, 2023. So starting June 11th, 2023, Pluto will revert back into Capricorn. So we have about a little over a month of Pluto being in Aquarius. But again, it's moving backwards due to the retrograde. So a little over a month from now, Pluto will go back into Capricorn. Now, when does Pluto go back into Aquarius? Because again, I want to just give you these dates so that you can pay attention and observe, right? We're making predictions right now. So come June 11th, expect to see some major changes. Now, let's see when Pluto goes back into Aquarius. Let's see. So Pluto goes back into Aquarius January 20th, 2024. So Pluto goes into Capricorn June 11th, and it will be in Capricorn until June, not June, January 20th of 2024. So essentially the rest of the year. So for the rest of the year, we're going to be dealing with Pluto and Capricorn all the way from June 11th to January 20th of 2024, right? Then, of course, Pluto will be in retrograde all the way up until, let me actually, again, I just want to, let me get the exact dates. Well, Pluto will actually be out of retrograde. Pluto will be out of retrograde in October. So then, so it's going backwards into Capricorn. And then come October, it will start moving forward again. And then it will go back into Aquarius starting January. So Pluto goes out of retrograde in October, and then it will make its way back into Aquarius. So Pluto will be in Capricorn again from June 11th, essentially all the way to January of next year, which is quite a long time. So expect to see and hear a lot of propaganda during this time. We're going to constantly be told everything is all right, everything is going just fine. And we know that's simply not the case. We also know 2024 is an electional year. You know, it will be a new president. So Pluto will be in Aquarius when the new president is elected. So let me actually go to November. Let's go to November. Oh, it's very interesting. So Pluto will go back into retrograde. That's very interesting. So by the time we hit November, Pluto would have went back into retrograde and it will be in Capricorn again. So come November 2024, Pluto is not even going to be in Aquarius. Pluto was actually going back into Capricorn, 29 degrees. So you see, Pluto was really going back and forth between Aquarius and Capricorn like crazy, just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So we're dealing with this cusp energy. We're going between the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. If we take it to the tarot, that's the devil card and the star card. We understand Aquarius represents independence. Aquarius represents the technomancers. Then Capricorn represents the status quo. So essentially, Aquarius is breaking the status quo, and then Capricorn represents building up the status quo, maintaining the matrix. Aquarius is breaking free from the matrix. So we're going to see these dynamics essentially for the next year and beyond. Going into the electional year, around election time, we're going to see these dynamics shift between the building up of, you can say, the banks, the status quo, but also the destruction of it. So that's why we're seeing the collapse of the status quo, but then we will revert back into like the government bailing out, the government trying to make things seem smooth. They're going to hit you with this propaganda, then things will collapse. Then the government is going to give the band-aids. Things will collapse. The government gives band-aids. So we're going to see this pendulum effect for quite some time in accordance to Pluto, right? So I just wanted to give you the exact date so that you know what to expect and you can get your timing correct so that you know when these dates hit that things will be happening. And this is just our job as astrologers, as those who pay attention to the movements of the stars. So I'm letting you know about things before they even happen. So the media will let you know things after the fact. So we can't really depend on the media to tell us things before they happen. We have to depend on astrology for that. The media will just report on it after the fact. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time. So when you observe these dates and when the mass propaganda is going to be ridiculous. It's like a fight between, you can say, the demons and the angels, and the devil and the star, right? It's a fight between the demonic worlds and the angelic worlds. They're really at war, even though they've been at war for quite some time. But now this is in the energy of Pluto. Pluto represents the god of the underworld. So you can say this is a rise of the underworld, but also it's a war in the underworld, in other words. You could say the angels are going down into the underworld to fight the war. You could say before, when we talk about creation and we talk about the fall of Lucifer, you could say the first war took place in the heavens when Lucifer was cast out of the heavens, right? We're all familiar with that story. But now in this particular case, the war would take place in the hell worlds, in the realms of hell. So the angels are going to bring their ass down into the underworld, and that's where the war is being fought now. So that's why we're dealing with, you could say, the energy of Pluto. Pluto is the main stage of everything that's going on. And again, that's why banks are being affected. All the people or the corporations or the companies that are holding mass wealth are the ones that are being affected. Just like before, we're basically, all these people in the tech industry, have been losing their jobs. Also, Vice, Vice is bankrupt now. BuzzFeed, bankrupt. These are media outlets. Again, those who put out propaganda, because that's what everybody was calling BuzzFeed, just, mass propaganda, because they put out fake stories. Now they're saying the same thing about Vice. Vice went from being edgy to politically correct. And when they switched their stance, now people lost interest. Like you can even see it on YouTube. When you used to watch like the Vice documentaries, they would be talking about drug dealers, they would be talking about cartels, gang members, all of the edgy stuff. And then all of that changed. They stopped doing things like that. And when they stopped doing things like that, of course, people stopped paying attention. People stopped watching. Like, okay, why watch them anymore? Now everything is politically correct. and now they have become bankrupt. Why? Because they began to get funding from those who wanted to be politically correct. And this is what happens because we're so money hungry, because we're so thirsty, we're just taking checks from anybody. But when you take checks from certain people, now you have to change up what you're doing. You have to change up your whole scheme. What made you who you are, you only become a shadow of that. So of course you lose your core audience in the midst of trying to build a new audience, because that's essentially what they do. They're like, okay, well, forget your core audience, forget what got you here. We're going to fund you this to change your whole scheme, but it doesn't really end up working like that. You can also see this with the president, Joe Biden, right? He has made his whole presidency about not answering questions, just, lurking in the shadows. He's not really, you can say, what we know a president to be. A president is not known for avoiding questions, not interacting with the public, trying to just stay in a bunker somewhere. The president isn't really has never been known to move like that. And then everybody blames his age, so on and so forth. But that's why they say the whole family is corrupt. He's moving more like a mobster. They're moving like the mafia, but they just got the government on their side. So that's why you should not be surprised. Joe Biden has gotten a lot of people locked up. Joe Biden has been a politician probably longer than I've been alive. And he really hasn't done anything to benefit people that look like me, people that have the same culture as me. We are the enemy to Joe Biden. It's like we are the enemy to Hillary Clinton, who called us super predators. We are the enemy to Kamala Harris, everything she was doing in California. These people do not have our best interests at heart. And again, that's why they are allowing so many foreigners into the country. Because they don't give a fuck about, they just, we're just the batteries to the matrix for them. They're trying to build up the foreigners, the people that's coming through the southern border, the refugees that's coming, from war-torn countries. They're trying to build a new America. And that's why Trump is all about keep America first. That's not their agenda. They want a whole different America. And again, if that's the position that they want to take, that's a position they take. But nobody should be surprised because the president has always held these standards. We were never in their best interest, even Obama. Essentially, all of the newer Democrats, but again, the Democratic Party was, if you look at the origins of the Democratic Party, it was never in our interests. See, that's the catch-22. The catch-22 is we actually should resonate more with the Republican Party, but somehow they have become the enemies. But if you look at the origins of how they came to be, they actually have more of your interest than the Democrats. Because if you look at the origins of the Democratic Party, it's not in our interest. That's going to take you to things like the KKK, Masonic, all the things that want you to be a battery. All of the systems that are in place to keep us locked up. Why do we make up the majority of the people in jail when we only represent 13% of the country? So how are the majority of the people that in jail that look like me and we're only 13% of the country? You know what that is? It's called propaganda. They want us to feel like we are the most violent people, we are the most uncivilized people, and that's how they justify their Christianity. That's how they justify doing what they're doing. Like, well, look at all these people, black on black crime. They talk about black on black crime like we're the only people that's killing each other. Everybody kills each other, right? Everybody kills each other. Killing happens all over the planet, but somehow they want to talk about black on black crime like we're the only ones doing this stuff. Italians kill Italians, Germans kill Germans. Everybody kills each other. That's just nature, right? But somehow we want to emphasize the smallest group of people. Okay, I wouldn't say we're the smallest, but we're definitely not the largest. It's propaganda. Just pointing all these things out because this is propaganda. This is the energy of Pluto reverted. Joe Biden represents a inverted Pluto. The president or the whole presidential cabinet represents an inverted Pluto. All they do is put out propaganda. When you look at the White House briefings, this is all propaganda. They're not answering questions. They're not telling you the truth, and that's why those documents got leaked, which revealed the truth, right? So that's why when these documents leak, it's the complete opposite of everything we've been hearing, and that's why everybody, got their pennies in a bunch right now, because now we know the truth. They can't keep putting the veil over your head when you have people who have a heart that's brave enough to reveal the truth at the cost of their own life and their own livelihood. See, when you have people, that's more the energy of Aquarius. That's why we're swinging between Aquarius and Capricorn. That's why that even happened. So that's what I mean by the battle was taking place in the underworld. That's why documents got leaked. That's the Aquarian. So then they're going to try to hit him with the books, hit him with the law, destroy his life, so on and so forth. This is the war between the propaganda and the truth. That's why we're swinging between these two currencies, and we're just standing on the cusp of these two energies. That's why we're going to continue to see more of this. This will not be the last leaks, because as long as they continue to lie, there will be those who reveal the truth at any cost, because this is simply in their heart. So they may not have a good life in this lifetime, but in the next, they will be kings, they will be queens. And they understand this. They're willing to give up this life, which is an illusion, which is temporary, to let us know who and what we really are and what's really going on behind the scenes. So if you pay close enough attention, the truth is out there. And the truth will constantly come out because, again, that's the energy of Aquarius. Then when we go back into Capricorn, that would be them trying to cover up the truth. They're trying to cover up, they're trying to save face, but then we're going to go back into Aquarius, then more truth will be revealed. Then we go back into Capricorn and try to cover it up. So we're going to see this for a long time, all the way up until the next presidential election in 2024, right? So I'm just giving you the foundation of what to expect. Expect more whistleblowers to step up. That's why the IRS, they're talking about, a whistleblower who wants to reveal that the whole investigation on Hunter Biden is being stalled because he's getting preferential treatment because he is the son of the president. So the same way they would have locked your ass up if you did the same thing, you would have got locked up years ago. But somehow he's still a free man, untouched. They're moving around like the mafia. But again, this is our karma. And what I mean by this is our karma because they put the hate of Trump so deep into people's hearts, it made them evil. This is what people don't understand. People really don't hate Trump. Nobody hated Trump until he became the president. When Trump was out here being the playboy, when he was just out here being a billionaire, when he was just out here doing what they do, he was not hated. People may have disliked him. They may not have liked him, but there was really no reason to hate that man. Like, okay, he's doing what the same thing you would probably be doing if you had the opportunities he had. He's doing the same thing. No big deal. But because he decided to run for president and he actually won, right? What's up, Rashad? Because he ran for president and he actually won, they had to infect the hearts and the minds of the people to develop a hatred. So they made people hate him. This was all a plan. It's propaganda. Now people are affected with Trump hatred that they're willing to put a mobster in the presidential office. They were willing to put a corrupt man instead of a righteous man in the presidential office, and we wonder why we're dealing with everything we're dealing with. Joe Biden is running the presidency like a mobster. That's the new mob. New mob is a Biden family. Look at the type of hold they got on the people and those in power, just using them like puppets. They are the new mob. They took out the mob, and now they're the new mob. Same thing happened in Las Vegas. We know Las Vegas was started by mobsters. They pushed the mob out, and now it's ran by big corporations. This is just what they do. They let people like you build it up. The first casinos was Flamingo. It was built by mobsters. They let you do all the groundwork, and then they take it away from you. This is what they do, right? They let you become this big drug dealer, this big mob boss, and then they confiscate all your cars, all your properties, everything that's linked to you. They take it. So they let you build up this empire, and they're watching you the whole time. They're letting you destroy your own people. They're just letting it happen. And when they get good and ready, then they take everything away from you. Oh, you got 35 cars, you got 14 homes, you got this, you got that. Okay, give us all of that. They're doing it to the Russians right now because of the war in Ukraine. They are seizing the assets of millionaire and billionaire Russians. They're seizing their yachts, their cars, their properties. They're just taking that shit. Because Russia is public enemy number one, now they use that as an excuse to seize their property, which they truly had no right to do. They had to cause this war because Hunter Biden was doing work in Ukraine just like he was doing work in China. So we wonder why all this is popping off, because this is exactly benefits their pockets. They are mobsters. They are corrupt. And they have enough power over the people because of the hatred of Trump. That's why people are just silent. Joe Biden is he's just cooling. He's not worried about anything happening to him. Nothing probably will happen to him or his son because we let it happen. Because by any means, keep Trump out of the presidential office. So if that means we got a mobster in the presidential office, so be it. So be it. But it's our own karma. We let it happen. We let it happen. So that this is going way beyond Republican and Democrat. Joe Biden has never been competent. 93 May. Joe Biden has never been a politician that we should ever have cared about because of the damage he has done. He has done a lot of damage to us. If you look like me, he has done a lot of damage to your family. People are still suffering because of the damage he done. And look at what his family is doing. We are the ones that suffer. But again, by any means, keep Trump out of office. That's their agenda. That's their plan. So people are going along with it. So it don't matter how much we hurt. It don't matter how hurtful that inflation is, how hurtful those gas prices is by any means keep Trump out of office. That's just their only plan. So if it's at your life, if your life is caught up in it, so be it. This is a corrupt regime, but it is our own karma because we put them in office. They only had the power that we gave them, but they had to corrupt your hearts in order to do so. He's only there because it's really revealing how evil people are. So we can point the finger at Joe Biden all we want, but it's really the wickedness and the evil within the hearts of people who allowed this to happen and who stay silent and they know the truth. We know the truth, but we stay silent and then we allow it to keep happening. And so that's because our heart is not in the right place. So it's our own fault. That's why this is our own karma. We should have never trusted him because of the damage he did before he was even president. He had already did enough damage. But you know what people did? People that look like me, he was going on radio. Everybody was promoting him, like Charlemagne, The guy was promoting them. Diddy was promoting them. It said die or vote, vote or die. They had these whole campaigns. Hip hop was they was paying the hip hoppers. They was paying the rappers. Vote for Joe Biden. Vote for Joe Biden. What did they do? They took the money. But then we still listen to these people's music. We think that these people have our best interests. No, they took a check. And then they corrupted our hearts. It's again, why do you think they make this disgusting ass music? We think these people are for us, but these people are actually our enemies. If you are a person that wants change, that is inspired by spiritual values, these people are not. They don't have your best interests. And everybody just stands silent, just letting it happen, ain't saying nothing about it, regardless of the cost. Everybody's just turning their head like ain't nothing going on here. There's nothing to see here. They're just feeding us with propaganda, and we just act like, oh, well, we don't see it. We turn a blind eye to it. So that's why we getting our ass handed to us. That's why we're getting fucked up. Because we are allowing this shit to happen. So when the energy swings back into Aquarius, again, except those who are not allowing it to happen, those who actually have a pure heart, those who are willing to put their life on the line, these are the people that's making the ultimate sacrifice. These are the martyrs. We still have martyrs out here. It's not many of them, but we still have martyrs out here. So I'm just letting you know the landscape, politics, and everything else. It's completely corrupt. And Joe Biden may even win the presidency in 2024 because, again, people are evil and wicked in their own heart. The president is just going to reflect the energy of the people. So you really need to understand who was amongst you, who was around you. You got people pretending to be or to have your best interest, and they're really looking out to destroy you. Anybody who voted for them, you need to question, like, where are the morals of these people? You knew what was going to happen. And all they do, okay, yeah, he made some mistakes in the past, forgive him. That's what people was telling us to do. Forgive this man. Yeah, he messed up. He made mistakes. And now he's trying to correct it. It doesn't seem that way to me. Because you can't even ask him a question. We have no contact with this president. He doesn't give us a flying fuck about anything you have to say. He's just doing whatever he's doing, and he keeps fumbling the ball because he was never qualified to be the president. He was never qualified to be the president. There is nothing in his track record that ever qualified him to be a president. Now, if he want to be a politician, fine. But he was never qualified to be a president. He is only the president because people didn't want Trump in there for a second term. They didn't even want him there for a first term. But he was never qualified. It don't matter that he's been a politician for 40 years. He was never qualified to be in a position, and he just showing it, and then people are just acting like he's not showing it. Oh, he knows what he's doing. No, the fuck he's not. He does not know what he's doing. Nobody in his party knows what the fuck he is doing. They're telling him what to do. He's being told what to do. He's being instructed on what to do. These are not his own thoughts. You think he's coming up with these laws? You think he's coming up with these plans? He's not. There are people that are hired to do his job. He's not doing his own job. He's just the face. He's just eating fucking ice cream and just living his best life. That's what he's doing. Laughing in your goddamn face. Oh, y'all actually believe I'm actually have y'all best interests? The jokes is on you. And he's absolutely right. So while we thought Trump was the devil on earth, we really got the real devil. And we did it to ourselves because people actually are devils. Of course, a devil is going to be with a devil. And we're talking about people who are just vampiric. People who are using the energy for their own gain. Not the rebels. And again, that's why you got the devil card and you got the star card. Right? You got those who are rebellious against the system, then you got who are building up the system. people who support corruption, and people that support reality. So that's why we are forced to question everything that's occurring. Like, okay, anybody who's pro-Democrat right now, and this is not a personal shot at anybody because I'm sure that the Democrats have, at some point in time, did good things for the people. I'm specifically talking about this presidential cabinet. I'm specifically talking about that includes Obama because Joe Biden was a vice president with Obama. Why did Obama choose him as a vice president? See, we don't want to ask these questions. We were so caught up with the first black president, we didn't realize that, okay, his vice president is a wicked man. This is the most wickedest man you could have chose. What made him qualified to be the vice president? Let alone the president. How was he qualified to even be the vice president? See, we don't want to ask these questions because, we want to have love for Obama. He made history. But he identifies as black. Black is not a race. That is a propaganda. He identifies as African American. Propaganda. But we don't want to face these facts now, do we? They're just perpetuating lies. We are not black. We are not African American. We are not none of these things. But if you look at Obama, of course you are. Right? Said too many NPCs. It's not that they're NPCs, they're just wicked and they're corrupt. They know exactly what they're doing. So, like, to say somebody's an NPC says that they're foolish. These people are not foolish. These people have an agenda. They know exactly what they're doing, and the joke is on us because we think they're incompetent. We think that they're foolish. No, they know exactly what they're doing. But of course, they're going to appear to be stupid, but they're not. They know exactly what they're doing. We are the fools for believing them. So honestly, we are the NPCs for believing them. It ain't them, it's us for believing them. Oh yeah, we can think they're foolish all we want, but we are the real fools because we believed it. We fell for the tricks. The fool is not the trickster. The fool is the one who fell for the tricks. What's up, Essex? Yeah, definitely everything is calculated. Everything is strategy. Nobody is foolish except us. They're playing games on us, on our mind. They're manifesting on our consciousness. These are corrupt and wicked people. They always have been. Just look at the history of Joe Biden. That's all we gotta do is do history. Even NATO, and I was telling y'all this before, Joe Biden was born at the same time NATO was being constructed. So you think it's a coincidence that he wanted to further NATO? Joe Biden was born within the time that NATO was being constructed, which is at the end of World War II. So even that is no coincidence. Like he just pro NATO to the point where now he didn't step on Putin's toes, and now Putin has to destroy Ukraine because of what Joe Biden is doing. This NATO was being led by the U.S. Joe Biden is leading this. Joe Biden has always been that's been his agenda. He was born when all these things were happening. He was supposed to be in this position. But again, people are not going back far enough to realize this. They're not doing their history. Everybody wants to be in the moment. All these spiritual fucks. That's why, I don't really dislike these people. I really dislike these people. I'm like, you don't even know history now, do you? Again, I'm not even talking about the youth. The youth don't know no better. But it's supposed to be people like us that remind the youth. Like, maybe you should do your history. Like, this has been going on for way longer than you've been born. Way longer than I've been born. But we're just so no, they want to be in the moment. They want to go in meditation. They're trying to reach nirvana. Everybody's just on this spiritual path because they want to be thoughtless. People want to be thoughtless. It's hard to accept reality. It's hard to accept the truth because you got to look within yourself like, damn, how did I play a part in this? But nobody wants to take that responsibility like, damn, what part do I play in this? Because we all play a part. right? But instead of looking in ourselves, we want to point the fingers at everybody else. Again, now they want to point the finger at Donald Trump, like Donald Trump started any of this. Donald Trump ain't been a politician that damn long. Donald Trump has not been making the rules. Donald Trump has nothing to do with NATO. Donald Trump has not been in the political game long enough to have any karma. Joe Biden has, though. But again, we want to act like this is not the case. If you study this man, do y'all not know that he had to sacrifice his family before he became senator? Oh, we want to forget about that. We don't want to acknowledge that. Right before he became sinister, oh shit. Right before he became the senator, his wife and his son died. His wife and his son died in a car accident. And Hunter Biden was in that car. He had another brother and he had a wife. Joe Biden's first wife and also another son died in a car accident. Then Joe Biden had another son who became governor who also died because he helped a royal family member escape rape charges. They were being charged with rape. Just do your history. Nobody wants to do the history. When I was doing a history, I'm like, I can't believe this shit. And this is the man we put as president when he's been corrupt the whole time. He got blood sacrifices. Like, okay. This was all happening right before he became sinister. Like, I keep confusing sinister with senator. I guess, that's what my mind is refusing to go past sinister. I'm like, damn, this has been happening for quite some time, and we want to ignore it. Nobody mentions this stuff. I only know it because I did the history. Nobody told me this. I don't even know if anybody speaks about this. I had to do my own history. I know this because I did my own research. I didn't hear this from nobody else. I had to do these calculations on my own. So everything that you're hearing from me is original thought, original research. This ain't coming from I heard, because I don't even look at what other people are saying about them because they're not talking about any of this stuff. So I'm like, it ain't nobody else even to watch. They're not even telling the truth either, right? So, but we did it to ourselves, right? We did it to ourselves because we failed to do history, and we know when you don't do history, history will repeat itself. So because we did not do our history on this man, we allowed him to become president, and now we're reaping the karma of us repeating history. But that's how the world works. You don't do the history, then it will repeat until you learn your lesson. So we gotta keep learning our lesson until we know better. And you know what? People are not gonna know better. Why? Because they are benefiting. They benefit from Joe Biden being president. So why would they want him not to be a president? That's why he just announced that he's going to run again. He's going to be a 2024 candidate. He's going to run again. I'm like, damn, we still ain't learned our lesson, huh? The hate for Trump is just so deep that we will allow this man to be president for 8 years, just like we let Obama be president for 8 years, because we were just so concerned with the visuals. We love seeing a so-called black man as president. We love that. Not knowing that, do you know he got the devil right under his wing? Well, we didn't know that, huh? Who shouldn't even be there, who's not qualified to be there, but like, okay, so we don't realize that this is the worst white man that it's possible. And white is not a race either. This is the worst man that you could have possibly picked for a vice president. But they had a agenda for him. He's just living out his agenda. He didn't invent NATO. He was told to put these things into place. Joe Biden was raised up by the KKK. This is historical fact. A grand wizard of the KKK is the one who trained Joe Biden. That's the only reason that he is in the position that he's in, because he was trained by a grand wizard, somebody who's really into magic. So if anything, Joe Biden is a magician, because you see he got everybody hating Trump now, didn't he? He's very successful. He's a very successful magician. He's not a successful politician. You see, he sucks at politics. But when it comes to this magic shit, oh, he's very skilled. I'll give him that. I can't hate on that. He's very skilled in the world of magic. Fuck politics. He is very skilled in his magic because he was raised up to be that way. That's why people truly hate Trump. That is the magic of Joe Biden. That is grand wizardry on the highest level. And salute to him for that because he got everybody following right under his thumb. His family's protected. Hunter Biden is not in jail. Even with the laptop, even with all the evidence, somehow people are just ignoring this shit. They're just turning a blind eye. I'm like, oh yeah, that's some grand wizardry right there. I'm like, God damn, I gotta respect it. I'm just looking at these plays. I'm like, damn, he really got everybody under his thumb. But he was trained to be this. So this is not a mistake. He was trained to be this. So when you were like, yo, how did he even get in these positions? Well, I'm telling you how he got in these positions. It was the wizardry and witchcraft and sorcery and necromancy, the forbidden arts. That's how he got in the position he's in right now. Politics is not his strong suit whatsoever. He has done nothing in his political career to be qualified to be president. But if we talk about his wizardry, his magical career, oh, he's doing everything right. He is doing everything right. So that's why I say, like, everybody was loving, like, Michelle Obama, right? You barely hear anybody say anything negative about her. But all these people are in the same group. But we give them a pass because they look like us. We gave Obama a pass. We will give Michelle a pass. We're going to give all these people passes. We see what's happening in Chicago. We give the mayor a pass. Even, the mayors of Detroit. Why are all these politicians corrupt and then destroying the cities, and then we get thrown in jail? We fall victim to these traps, and then we just keep the system going because it's magic. Fuck the politics. This is grand wizardry, and we keep falling for it. But why? Because we don't want to believe in this shit. We're fucking Christians. We're Muslims, right? We're Jews. We're too religious to really want to believe in any of this stuff. Like, oh, what it is what it is, right? That's why we're in this situation, because we refuse to believe reality. We don't want to remember when they was burning those crosses and burning your whole house down. We don't want to remember history. They will come and put you out of your own home. Did we not see the Malcolm X movie? They will burn your whole home. Everything that you worked your whole life for is destroyed in an instant. And they were just doing that to all of us. But then they say, we just don't want to do nothing with ourselves, right? We at the bottom of the totem pole. Well, a lot of us were robbed of our wealth. A lot of families were being destroyed. And then we say, okay, well, the fathers don't want to be in the home, right? So Luciferian, Jesus lover. Right? The laptop is a major deal in conservative media, but it ain't doing nothing. They've been talking about that laptop since before Joe Biden was even president. And ain't shit happened to him. So they can talk about it all they want. It ain't gonna make a difference because this is wizardry. They can talk about it all they want. But this is a grand wizard at play. They don't realize who they fucking with. They don't realize the power that he really has, the power that was given to him. Because you would think, okay, they talk about it literally every day. Fox News, they talk about that shit every day. Not a day goes by that they're not mentioning that laptop. And ain't shit happened yet. Ain't nothing happened yet. We don't realize how powerful that these people are. So that's why I say we keep falling for the okie doke. And that's our own fault. It's our own fault. Yeah, they have been tired of hearing about it. Yeah, because ain't nothing gonna happen about it. They just make money off of it now. This is just a money grab. It's just a money grab. So they're gonna keep talking about it. They're not gonna stop talking about it, but it ain't gonna make a difference. It's not gonna make a difference. This is the real mob. This is grand wizardry. This is true witchcraft. This is real magic. They dealing with real magic that we don't want to understand because we're too religious. As I said earlier, we're too religious. We're too much of Christians. We're too Christian to understand that magic is real. We just okay. I'm just protected by God. We're just fucking fools. We're fucking fools. We just pray and get on our goddamn knees like that's gonna change anything. It's not. It's not. We're fucking fools. It's our fault. Because all of the people that's in position of powers, they're religious. And they benefit from the system, so they want Joe Biden to stay president. Because that's the only thing that gives them worth. That's the only thing that gives them value. But it corrupts your heart. You become wicked. You become corrupt. You become a shell of yourself. You become a shadow of yourself. Because your heart is no longer pure. Because everybody knows what's going on, but they benefit from it. So they're never going to reveal the secret. They're never going to reveal the secret. Joe Biden is probably controlled by a higher force. So you're looking at this old man not realizing that this is a spirit right before our eyes. We just don't realize it. This is a Sith Lord. We didn't see the Star Wars movie. This Joe Biden is a Sith Lord. But we don't want to. And Hunter Biden is fucking Darth Vader. Oh, we don't want to look at it like that though. We don't want to accept the reality. Hunter Biden is fucking Darth Vader around this bitch. Untouchable. They can only be brought down by their own. The only way for them to be brought down is it has to be somebody from the inside. It ain't gonna be nobody from the outside. It has to be done from the inside. But is that gonna happen? No, because they're gonna lose their life. They're gonna lose their life. Or you wanna reveal that, or your life is over with. But because we're so afraid of death, because we love to be alive, that's why this keeps happening. As long as they keep the fear of death over your head, you ain't gonna reveal nothing. Because we see what happened to the people that do. Their whole livelihood, their whole reputation gets destroyed. And most people ain't willing to go through that because they want to live a comfortable life. They want to be able to take care of their family. That's why I was saying before, they give us this propaganda. Oh, the fathers need to be in the home. We need to do more for these people. We need to be better human beings. You don't realize that you're being coerced by the trickster. You don't realize it, do you? All right? Now imagine if I just wanted the money. I wouldn't be talking about this right now. The only reason I'm even talking about this, you see, even what I gotta go through. Because I talk about what I talk about, I can't put ads on my videos. I can't get a YouTube check. Because that's all a part of the system, man. Like, yeah, you can say whatever you want to say, but we ain't paying you for it. We're not going to advertise it. We're not going to push it. So I know the consequences. I got to deal with it every day. Just to tell you the truth. So that's why only a small group of people even can be exposed to it. Why that's just the price that I'm willing to pay. Right? And most people are not willing to pay that price. Again, motherfuckers just trying to be YouTube famous. People trying to get likes, comments, views. I had to say fuck all that. I'd rather be infamous and tell you the truth. That's why I have to do what I gotta do, right? But it ain't too many people willing to do that. Right? They don't have that type of heart. They're trying to be comfortable in life. They're still afraid of death. I had to say fuck all of that. And just be honest. First with myself. Are you willing to pay the consequences? Are you willing to deal with everything that comes with it? I had to make that up in my mind before that. Because I could have went the other way. and just not talked about this. Still was talking about meditation. Still talk about the all the stuff I was talking about when I first started this channel. I could have kept going in that direction. I didn't go viral talking about the truth. I went viral talking about what was popular at the time. When you look at my most popular videos, that's not me exposing the matrix. That's me, talking about things that people wanted to hear. I could have kept going in that direction. But I'm like, okay, at what point do I be real with my own self? Because I'm going to end up corrupting myself if I go in that direction. I'm going to end up selling out to myself going in that direction. So that's what I say. I pay the price every day. Every single day. I know how it feels. So that's why I can say what I say, because I am willing to live with the consequences. That's why I'm able to do it. I don't get no reward for it. And again, not from the corporation, not from YouTube. YouTube would rather me not make videos because of the way I talk. And again, they show me every day, right? You see how hard I gotta work just to get any type of views. I gotta put out 5, 6, 7 videos, 3 hours, 5 hours. I gotta go above and beyond just to give decent views. If I want 1,000 views, I gotta make a 5-hour video, two 5-hour videos. Somebody else can just put out one video for 10 minutes. I gotta truly bust my ass just to get a decent amount of views, right? But you see, I'm willing to pay that price. And that's why y'all been seeing me. I'm going live a couple times a day now. That's what I gotta do just to be normal. Right? But I'm gonna start doing some more ASMR videos, right? Because I don't care to talk about this all the time. Like after this live stream, I'm probably gonna upload an ASMR video. I'll probably upload the song I let y'all hear. Like I ain't trying to talk about this all goddamn day, every day. Like if y'all don't get it by now, it's like you're just not gonna get it, right? So I'm not gonna just shower your feed with the bullshit all day. Let me balance it out with some music. Let me balance it out with some ASMR so I can actually relax your mind. Let me show you how multi-dimensional I am. Let me show you how I'm different than everybody else. There's some people that got whole channels talking about this. But I'll talk about this every now and then, but then I'll drop some music, I'll drop some ASMR. Let me relax your mind, then let me hype your mind up with the hip-hop. And then let me balance you out with the political, the commentary, the occult, the astrology. I'm like, let me do all these things. I gotta go in all worlds. So that's why I'm like, I'm not gonna get stuck in this world. So, all right. We 58 minutes in, unless anybody has any questions, we'll check out. I think I said what I needed to say. But then expect some ASMR after this, right? This doesn't have to be a bad day, a corrupt day. I said what I had to say. It's over with. It's off my chest. I ain't even gonna think about this shit no more after this, right? So after this, I'm gonna do a whole YouTube video. I'll probably upload that later on today. I gotta do the mixing. I gotta do the mastering. I haven't made an ASMR video in quite some time. Why? Because I've been on too much on this bullshit. I'm like, whatever. I'm tired of it. Let me do some ASMR. Let me balance my own heart chakra. Let me balance my own scales. I don't even care to even talk about this shit no more. All right. So, that's it. 93. Love's the law. Love under will. We out.